always had trouble being happy, but now it feels impossible. Everyone in my family tells me what a difficult baby I was compared to my sister Olga. When I was little, anything would set me off. A canceled outing, a dropped cookie. I remember I once sobbed because I saw a three-legged dog. I don't know why I've always been like this, why the smallest things make me ache inside. There's this poem I read once titled, "The world is too much with us." And I think that's the best way to describe the feeling. The world is too much with me. Sometimes our mental health can deteriorate after experiencing a traumatic event. When Julia's world is turned upside down, she finds it difficult to keep her head on her shoulders and face her fears and doubts head on. Will she have the strength to confront those fears? My name is Ana Flores, and I will be reading a piece from I Am Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter by Erika L Sanchez. It's not like my parents are happy either. I mean, all they do is work. They never go out anywhere. And when they're home, they barely talk to each other. I don't understand why everyone has a problem about the way that I am. What am I supposed to do? I mean, say that I'm sorry? Oh, I'm sorry I can't be normal. I'm sorry I'm such a bad daughter. I'm sorry I hate the life that I have to live. There are times I feel completely alone, like no one in the world could possibly understand me. Sometimes Mama likes to stare at me like I'm this creature that slithered out of her body. My friend Lorena listens, which I appreciate, but she doesn't get it. I mean, she's a science geek. She likes science, but she doesn't care about literature or art. I don't think anyone likes what I like. Sometimes I feel so lonely and hopeless that I don't know what to do. I mean, usually I just bottle up all my feelings and wait until my parents go to sleep so that I can cry, which is really pathetic. If I can't wait, I do it in the shower. It builds and builds all day, tightening in my throat and my chest, and sometimes I feel it in my face. When I finally let it out, it cascades out of me. On top of everything, I can't sleep, even if I'm completely exhausted, even if my body is begging for me to rest. I just stare at the ceiling for hours and hours. And then I look at the clock and it's almost time for me to get ready to go to school. Oh, I try everything too. I mean, counting sheep, counting kittens, drinking hot milk, listening to relaxing music, but nothing helps. And the times that I do sleep, I have nightmares about people trying to murder me in upside down houses. It's kind of weird. I mean, at least I don't have any more dreams about Olga. In the mornings, I'm a shred of a person. There are days I feel like I'm being held together by a string. Other times I feel just unstitched, unhinged. I can barely keep my head up, let alone get good grades so that I can get the hell out of here and go to college. I only have a year and a half left, but it feels eternal. It feels infernal. Today, in my honors English class, the only class I enjoy, feels like a never-ending burden. Mr. Ingman is going over Huckleberry Finn, which, I already read 3 times, but I can't pay attention. Mr. Ingman asked the class about the symbolism of the Mississippi River, and, I know it inside out, and no one else wants to answer, but I don't bother raising my hand because I'm afraid that if I open my mouth, I'll start crying like a loser and won't be able to stop. After class, Mr. Ingman calls me over to his desk. "Is everything okay, Julia?" I nod. "Are you sure?" Ever since I told him my sister died, he looks as if he's trying to stare into my soul or something. "I'm fine." "Please don't cry, please don't cry, please don't cry. You don't seem fine. You look really upset. I know you love Huck Finn because we've talked about it many times. Sometimes I stay after school to talk to Mr. Ingman about books and college. He even lets me borrow some from his own personal collection. And he gives me colleges that he thinks that I should apply to, which, is why he's my favorite. You haven't said anything sarcastic in a few weeks, which is what bothers me the most, to be honest. Yeah, no, I'm fine. It's just, I'm on my period, and it feels like someone's stabbing me in the uterus. A couple of years ago, I learned that if you mention menstruation to any of your male teachers, you can get away with almost anything. And he looks uncomfortable, but it's clear he's not gonna let me go. Is something happening at home? How's your family doing since, your sister? Oh, we're fine, I guess. It comes in waves for me. Lots of waves, big, huge waves, and I guess I have this feeling, like I'm missing something. There's something I should know, but I can't figure it out. Like what? I don't know, just something's off. I'm sorry, it must be hard. It's impossible, and sometimes I think it's my fault. Olga had taken the bus that day because her car was in the shop to get the brakes replaced. Mama was supposed to pick her up, but because she had to deal with me, the troublemaker, she couldn't. If I had shut my mouth, things would have worked out differently. But how was I supposed to know that when Olga got off the bus to transfer to another one across the street, she didn't see that the light had turned green because she was looking at her stupid phone? And the bus honked to warn her, but it was too late. Olga had stepped into the busy street at the wrong time. She got hit by a semi. No, not just hit, smashed. Whenever I think of my sister's crushed organs, I want to scream into a field of flowers until I'm hoarse. 2 of the witnesses said that she was smiling right before it happened. It's a miracle that her face was okay enough to have an open casket. She was dead by the time the ambulance arrived. What if I would have done something differently that day? Would she still be alive? You can't think of it that way. Why not? Because it's not your fault. You didn't want your sister to die. Things like this just happen in life. Shit's fucked up sometimes. My mother died when I was 10. Heart attack. Just collapsed at work one day. I had been awful to her that morning. I threw a tantrum about my lunch and told her I hated her. And then she died, just like that. Whoa, I'm sorry. I don't know why, but I always assumed that Mr. Eamon had it easy. I imagine him growing up with like a treehouse or some shit like that. Does it go away? The feeling? It gets easier, but I still think about her every day. Suddenly, I feel something gurgle inside me, a warm, stretching pain, but it's not my stomach.